Have you ever woken up while the world was still asleep? At 2 a.m., and asked quietly, "Why am I awake?" Stop for a moment. Take a deep breath, because this moment is no coincidence. In adulthood, life is no longer noisy, it speaks softly. The silent hour comes not to disturb, but to invite listening. Imagine the night like a warm room. No demands, no obligations. Just you, and time pausing to give you peace. Many people around the world have experienced the same thing. Awakening at the same hour, in the same silence, and that means you are not alone. This story is not about fear, it is not about complexity. It is about being still, accepting, and making peace with life. 2 a.m. is not an enemy, it is not a frightening sign. It is a gentle invitation to stop, breathe, and feel enough. If you're still awake and still listening, it means life is still giving you time. Time to be still, time to be grateful, time to feel alive. Stay with us, there's a warm story waiting for you in every quiet night. Because sometimes, the greatest meaning in life comes when the world is quietest. Have you ever woken up at exactly 2 a.m.? Without a sound, without a nightmare, for no apparent reason. The house was silent. The streetlights were dim. It felt like the world had stopped breathing. Then a question slowly arose in my heart. Why do I always wake up at this hour? If that has ever happened to you, pause for a moment. Because you are not alone. Millions of parents around the world are experiencing the same thing. And today, we will talk about it without complicated words. Without stiff terms, without fear. Just with stories, warm metaphors, and the meaning of life. That slowly soothes the heart. Please sit comfortably. Take a deep breath. Because this story was created, especially to keep you company, before we get into the main story. If videos like this make you feel accompanied, remind you that you are not alone, and give you peace at night, a small support like subscribing, liking, or sharing this video will help this channel continue to accompany many other parents around the world. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Now, let's begin the story. Imagine your life as a beautiful old house. Not a house, a fragile one. Not a broken house, but a house full of memories and experiences. When the house was new, the night passed by, the door closed silently. The wind passed unnoticed, but over time, the house became more sensitive. The wood creaked softly, the clock ticked more audibly. The night breeze felt more tangible. So it is with the human body in adulthood. Not because it weakens, but because it becomes more aware of silence. 2 a.m. is when the world is most quiet. There's not much noise. Not much light. Not many distractions. At this time, the mind is not busy. And the body is not in a hurry. Like a lake in the early morning. When the water is still and the sky is clearly visible. In old age, the body is like that lake. When the world is quiet, everything becomes more tangible. Have you ever heard the old wall clock in an old house? It's not broken. It still works faithfully, but at night, its ticking can be heard clearer. Not because the beat is louder, but because the surroundings have become quiet. The same is true for an elderly person's body. Waking up at 2 a.m. isn't because something is wrong, but because the silence makes everything clearer. In youth, the night is often filled with busyness. But in adulthood, the night becomes a space for reflection. 2 a.m. often brings memories of the past, faces of loved ones. Little things you never had time to think about, not to regret, but to understand life's journey. Like someone opening an old photo album. Not to cry, but to smile and say, "I've come this far." Someone once said with a smile, "I used to come home late at 2 a.m. Now I wake up early at 2 a.m. And that's okay. Because every age has its own way of appreciating time. Waking up at 2 a.m. is not a bad sign. Waking up at 2 a.m. is not a mistake. Waking up at 2 a.m. is a sign that your body and mind have entered a more sensitive, calmer, and wiser phase. If you wake up at that hour, don't fight the night. Don't say, "Why am I like this?" Instead, tell yourself, This is my time to be quiet. Sit down slowly. Breathe. Let the silence speak. Not everyone is given the opportunity to hear the silence of the world. Not everyone can still be awake and aware of time. If you wake up at 2 a.m., it means you are still present, still alive, still given the opportunity to feel. And that is a gift. May your night be gentle, and your heart always at peace. Next, we'll discuss what to do when you wake up at 2 a.m., when the world stands still and time seems to stand still. Many people say, 2 a.m. is unsettling. But what if, in fact, 2 a.m. isn't an enemy, but a friend who has quietly arrived? Tonight, we won't fight time. We'll walk with it. Sit comfortably. Let your shoulders relax. And let's begin this story slowly. When you wake up at 2 a.m., the first thing to remember is this: don't fight the night. Imagine the night like a calm sea. If you swim frantically, you'll quickly get tired, but if you float calmly, the sea will support your body. The same is true of 2 a.m. The more you force yourself to go back to sleep, the heavier your mind will feel. But when you say, "It's okay, I just woke up for a moment," your mind actually becomes lighter. Think of 2 a.m. as a silent guest. It's not here to disturb you. It's only here for a moment. If you panic and chase it away, your heart will become restless. But if you greet it calmly, it will leave on its own. When you wake up, you don't need to stand up immediately. You don't need to turn on all the lights. Just sit up slowly. Inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Imagine your breath like small waves, coming and going on a beach at night. No need to be fast. No need to be strong. Just be present. Have you ever seen a small campfire at night? A large fire creates heat and glare, but a small fire provides warmth. At 2 a.m., our minds should be like that small fire. Not a large fire filled with worry, but a small, quiet fire. Just enough to light the heart. If possible, drink warm water. Think of it as a gentle greeting to your body. It's not meant to wake you up completely, but to say, "I'm here. I'm okay." Small movements like this often provide a sense of security without us even realizing it. At 2 a.m., our minds often bring up old stories, memories, faces, conversations that happened. Don't chase those thoughts. Don't chase them away either. Imagine your thoughts like night clouds passing across the sky. Clouds come. Clouds go. The sky remains. Someone said with a smile. 2 a.m. is the time when your mind likes to open old photo albums without permission. And that's normal, because in maturity, your mind knows when to speak and when to remain silent. Don't fight the night. Sit quietly. Breathe slowly. Let your thoughts pass. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to chase. 2 a.m. is often a time to make peace with ourselves. During the day, we're busy becoming strong. At night, we learn to be still, and stillness is the gentlest form of strength. If tonight you wake up at 2 a.m. again, remember one thing. You're not losing sleep. You're gaining quiet time. Time that not everyone has. Time to breathe. Time to feel alive. May your night be peaceful, and your heart feel light. Next, we'll discuss the hidden meaning behind the habit of waking up at 2 a.m., when the world is still asleep and few people are awake. At this hour, there are no crowds. There are no demands. No one is asking anything of you. There's only time and you. And often, it's precisely at times like these that life wants to convey something in a very gentle way. Many people think waking up at 2 a.m. is a nuisance. But let's look at it from a different angle. Imagine 2 a.m. as a personal invitation. Not an invitation to a party. Not an invitation to a meeting. But an invitation to pause and listen. Not everyone accepts this invitation. And not everyone is calm enough to realize it. Have you ever seen a long, empty road at night? During the day, it's full of traffic and noise, but in the quiet of the night, the road becomes a place for reflection. Waking up at 2 a.m. is like standing alone on that road. No one is pushing. No one is chasing. You are free to choose whether to walk a while, or just stand there enjoying the silence. In adulthood, life is no longer about adding, it's about simplifying. 2 a.m. often comes when life wants to say, not everything needs to be thought about. Not every burden needs to be carried. Not all answers need to be found tonight. And that is wisdom. When you wake up in the quiet of the night, memories often emerge. But remember this, memories come, not to hurt, but to be resolved peacefully, like an old letter. Reread not to regret, but to close with a smile. Someone said softly. 2 a.m. is the time when life says, we've come a long way, huh? And if you smile when you hear that, it means you understand. 2 a.m. is not an enemy, 2 a.m. is an invitation. Silence is a safe space, maturity is wisdom. Not everyone is given the opportunity to wake up in silence. If you wake up at 2 a.m., it means you're still present. To hear life speak without shouting, and the most honest voices in life always come quietly. If one night you wake up at 2 a.m. again, don't ask, what's wrong with me? Gently ask, what does life want to tell you tonight? Sit for a moment, breathe slowly, and allow yourself to be still. Because stillness is not a sign of weakness. Stillness is a sign of spiritual maturity. May every night bring you peace, and every silence give you meaning. Have you ever thought that if you can still hear the sounds of the night, it means you still have time? Many people sleep so deeply that they forget to listen to life. But you are still awake, still feel the silence, still able to breathe consciously. And that is a precious gift. Throughout this story, we weren't talking about fear. We weren't talking about anything scary. We were just talking about life slowing down and a heart learning to be still. Waking up in the quiet hours is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that life is still speaking to you in a gentle way. In adulthood, life no longer asks you to run. Life simply asks you to be present. Be present to remember without regret. Be present to breathe without rushing. Be present to be grateful for the long journey you've already traveled. Not everyone makes it this far, and you are one of them. If tonight you wake up again in silence, remember one important thing. You are not alone. Across the world, there are many people your age who are also awake. Also silent, also speaking quietly and animatedly. And that night, we are all connected by that same silence. Allow yourself to be enough. Enough with what has been achieved. Enough with what has been. Enough with who you are today. Because happiness in adulthood is not about adding, but about peaceful acceptance. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this story until the end. If this video has made your heart feel calmer, warmer, or more connected, please hit the like button, share this video with someone you love. Subscribe to this channel so we can continue to meet. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next story, and leave a comment, just one simple sentence, about how you feel tonight. Your comments are a warm bridge that connects many hearts. Until we meet again, may your nights be gentle, your thoughts be light, and your hearts always feel at home. Thank you for being a part of this peaceful journey.